movie review. This week we are going to be reviewing the movie Phantasm. Is that the underwear from the scene?
I wore these in the movie.
Oh my God.
And they're going to a guy that has a memorabilia museum. I'm going to sign it and give it to him. He's going to put it in a case.
Wow.
Oh.
When he's ready. The guy who owns the Green Goblin thing.
That is pretty.
He's going to be the rightful owner of some Arkham Asylum draws.
I never thought I'd be so excited to see another man's underpants, but I am. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm going to tell him to put a card in the case that says $5 for scratch and sniff.
The schnozberries tastes like schnozberries.
Turn it into lickable wallpaper.
Ball sweat.
Beautiful.
I believe that's
isn't that a candle? There's a candle made like that, right? There's a ball sweat candle.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. So going into this movie, right? This movie is crazy. I remember watching it as a kid and then going back and watching it again. And there's obviously some fun facts in it as well. But as we go into Phantasm, what made you choose this movie?
Well, you said list your favorite movie when you were young, and Phantasm's always been my favorite horror film. I'm just obsessed over it because I was like 14 when I first saw it. Way back in the day when my parents had the first prehistoric cable box called On TV.
Mm-hmm.
You never heard of that?
No.
That's
What did it
old
look
I am.
like?
It's a box and it says On, and it was a one dial. You could
Okay.
like 3 stations, and one of them led you to porn when your parents left the house, and you could watch softcore porn. And I was delighted as fuck.
I remember the cable boxes where with the little tab buttons, and if you push 2 down at the same time, you kind of got a little bit of Cinemax Friday night.
You had to use matches. If you put matches in between them just right, you were bonering it up.
You started a fire in your house doing that.
Squiggly line?
Yeah.
But it would de-squiggle it.
It was at Grandma's house I did that.
Yeah.
If I saw a tit for a second, I was home free.
Titties. So
Holy oh shit. Okay.
all right, so it was your favorite movie as a kid. What made this movie I guess resonate with you?
Okay, yeah, exactly. Well, I was about the same age as as Michael in the movie, the kid.
Okay.
So I put myself in his position and all this crazy shit, and it just stood with me. And I went and bought the beta. I went and bought the beta at the video store for $80.
Yeah.
My friend had the only beta player I knew, so I kept going to his house and trying to play Phantasm on it. And then one time it was an independent theater, and I rode my bike to it just to see Phantasm, like a mile away. Yeah, I was just obsessed over it.
And you said Michael was the same age, right? So
About this.
yeah. First of all, let's touch back, Rukus. $80 for a Betamax tape.
Yeah,
Remember
it was
those
crazy,
days?
man. I forgot all about beta. We didn't have beta. We had VHS. I think my uncle had beta, but that was that was a hell of a price point back then.
Well, the
I went to a
company
store
that
called Master Beta.
I was like the company that made it, Mazda, eventually went out of business. I was going there. So as we look at that, you spoke about Mike Baldwin, and I don't want to get too far ahead, but you were actually in Phantasm 2, and that was the only one that Michael Baldwin was not in. Are you aware of that?
Me?
Yeah.
I worked on it. Of course, I'm aware.
So no, it was only more for Rukus, but I'll just go with you. So
I slid out of that conversation real quick.
You did.
Let you take the 1-2 on that.
Now, did this movie scare you as a kid?
Phantasm?
Yes.
It thrilled me.
Do tell.
I wasn't scared. It just thrilled me. I love that silver sphere. I was in love with it. I wish I could have bought one back then.
I think they would cost I think I read it's like $1,100 to make them, and the guy that made them actually passed away right before the movie came out, so he never got to see them.
Wow.
And this was this.
Steve Patino. Yeah.
Yes.
1 and 2 because 2 is just big budget and awesome. Universal produced it, and I worked on it. Basically, they go, okay, then 1, 2, and 3, and then 5, and then 4 is my least favorite.
4. And if we could, let's go back to what was it like working on Phantasm 2?
They hired me for craft service because I wrote a letter to Don Coscarelli saying that I'll do anything. I'll work for free and this and this. So basically, they did pay me for free. They paid me $40 a week, and I was working weekends back at my family restaurant. But it was really cool. A lot of it was in the warehouse. We went on location. I had to drive sometimes a couple hours and follow them with my freaking U-Haul with tables and chairs because I set up the craft service and all that. It was an adventure.
But that's an amazing story, though, because you don't hear a lot of that, especially today. Everything is done through agents, and there's a certain way that you have to approach certain things, and a lot of times just cold emails or cold contacts. Just it's very rare for something like that to hit. So hearing that's pretty amazing. And
they took advantage of me because they want to save money, like $40.
Oh, for sure.
A guy like me. I could do a $200 check every 5 days, and I'm working my ass off, but I was young and I could handle it. So back then they can get away with that stuff, even though it was a SAG film. Until they broke some laws. I don't know.
So I was about to ask you, Troy was about to ask you a really dumb question. Like, have you met Angus Graham? But I just realized that you were actually in too, so I'm sure you got to meet him. And how was he?
Oh, he was like a royal. He was just so nice. He could be a nicer person. Yeah, totally opposite of the tall man.
That's the way it is in life, right? The good ones are generally the jerks in real life, and the bad ones on screen are generally the really good ones, right?
Yeah, because in the horror movies, "Oi," and in real life, "How you doing today?"
How you doing? And Rukus, a fun fact, you brought up how he creates the minions, right?
Yeah,
those were actually 5-6-year-old kids. Is that correct?
I heard that. What, in the first or second?
First one.
I don't know exactly, but I heard that there were kids, and then one of the things was, a shorty guy or whatever, maybe.
Yeah, could you imagine that, Rukus? Like, so when you watch it now, they're beating the hell out. They're really beating the hell out of a 5-year-old.
So they had stunt players doing. I saw the stunt players in part 2. It was incredible. Like the one little guy that takes the baseball bat and brings him down the stairs. I was there in the room. I saw it. Little shorty guy.
Wow.
As a fan, when you're filming Phantasm 2, do you have to kind of play it off like you're not geeking out, or are you geeking out? How does that work?
Everybody there knew I was geeking out.
So you just lived in the moment then. You're like, you know what? I'm going for it.
That wasn't the only one. There was Kirsten Dame, who's close friends with Angus, and she was like close with everybody. And she worked on the other films too with him, and she did a lot of the photography. And are you familiar with Exhumed?
Who is he?
Dustin Mc. Oh, hi. I'm sorry, Dustin. It's called. Anyway,
Nickel. What did he do?
A lot of my pictures are in there, especially the one the best picture I ever took was with Angus, and there's a corpse that they made when he was melting. And so he posed with his corpse for me. And I'm the only one who got a picture like that. And that's in the book.
Is it a book on horror movies? Pictures behind the scenes?
It's a book on Phantasm.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to have to. Do you have the book? Check that out.
Wow.
Dustin McNeil.
You can read the printing, right?
Yeah. Phantasm Exhumed.
Huh.
Yeah, I'll find the picture while we're talking.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
So, so as we start rolling out of this, anything else you want to do when we want to talk about the Phantasm?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm done with Phantasm.